Well, in listening to all of your stuff over the past few weeks, I've really sort of fallen in love with the stuff you put in between the bits of melody, the way you fill in the rhythm and melodic blanks. And sometimes, that's just flights of genius that are melodic flights of genius. And other times there are like little jokes in there. Like I'm thinking of Man in the Full Monty, where you've got that Magnificent Seven Marlboro Man lick punctuating the rest. And I'm wondering about maybe there's some less obvious. I think, Jonathan, you have one of these less obvious little jokes or twists or things you've put into the orchestration that are that really amuse you and you hope that somebody gets them.
Well, I have one that sort of puts the lie to Russell Bennett. Well, which a mad idea that didn't come off. It was in Company, in the song "The Ladies That Lunch," where the lyric refers to Mahler. The line is perhaps a piece of Mahler's. I'll drink to that, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and one from Mahler, and 2 more bars of blank vamp. Now, that's I couldn't resist that temptation, and I should explain that back in those days, I was doing my first show for Sondheim, and I just had the idea in my head that that Leonard Bernstein was vetting everything I wrote. That as each score came in, Steve would show it to Lenny, and Lenny would look it over and tell him if he thought it was any good or not. This was absolutely untrue. But that's what I felt. I thought that every note that I was going to write was being examined through a magnifying glass by Bernstein. So I thought, well, I'll put in a quote from Mahler, but that's so obvious. Lenny will put me down if I do that. I was thinking of doing something more subtle, maybe a musical pun. And I thought I'd put in a quotation from Hindemith, Matthias der Mahler, which would be a pun.
Oh, that's a stretch.
A pun on a pun. And I thought, well, that's really it. I agreed with Naomi. That was too much of a stretch. And I ended up by putting in a simple quote from the Fourth Symphony, a little 2-bar quote in the flute. He knows it. Thank you. I couldn't play that.
I knew it from Company first, and then I knew Mahler's Fourth.
Oh. So we read the number down at the Boston, that studio on the roof, the Bradford roof. Nobody said anything. Steve didn't say anything. The conductor didn't say anything. The flute player didn't say anything. So it went right past them. Nobody ever said anything about it through the entire Boston run. And I said to myself, well, when Bernstein hears it, he'll get it. So we came to the night when Steve said, oh, well, Lenny's coming to see the show tonight. Would you like to meet him? I said, sure. And they played the number. The flute player missed his cue, didn't play it. So that little lick has gone down through the ages. It's still sitting there. It gets religiously played with every production. I've never heard a word about it.
So nobody except the people here have
So
ever
now.
heard.
We know and love it for decades.
That's right.
So
Well, thanks.